Back in 2009, a successful campaign resulted in retired Gurkha soldiers and their families being given settlement rights here in the UK, and thousands have since taken up the offer. But now, 7 years on, many of these elderly retired Gurkhas are struggling financially. They blame the government for giving them a raw deal, particularly over pension rights, and some are now planning to go on hunger strike in protest. Ayshea Buksh has the story.
Ayshea Buksh was a Gurkha for 15 years. He fought in India, Borneo and Malaya and lost many friends. Now 93 years old, he lives in a small, run-down flat in Plumstead with his wife, having moved to the UK 3 years ago. This followed a 2009 ruling by the then Labour government to grant Gurkha veterans the right to settle in the country they had fought for.
त्यही भन्नु आएको त्यस कारणले चाहिँ ल जाम भनेर आएको यहाँ पनि अब अलिअलि भत्ता दिया छ के अहिले त्यही भत्ता खाएर बसेको छु अहिले त्यस्तै छ.
One of the few points of contact to the outside world for Ayshea Buksh and other isolated members of the community are local charity workers. Sonia Tapper, with her husband Fatah, run a small charity in Greenwich focused on helping the elderly Gurkha community.
We started the charity because a lot of elderlies that came to Greenwich and they were just on the street. There wasn't much around for them. Start going to different offices and actually just check what kind of services is out there for them. There really wasn't anything.
Today, Sonia is delivering donated food from a local supermarket to Ayshea Buksh and his wife at their home.
Namaste, how are you?
The Gurkha veteran says he does not regret his decision to come to the UK, but now misses his home in Nepal and struggles with daily life in London.
जस्तो म बिमार भएन अस्पताल गयो भने इन्टरप्रिटर खोज्नु पर्यो अब त्यसै जान्न अब चाहिँ उलाई पैसा दिएर लानु पर्ने.
The elderly couple live in private accommodation but receive housing benefits to pay their rent. But according to charity workers, rogue landlords are a major problem. The couple's total lack of English means they have little idea of what is going on around them. An example of this is in the last few days, this for sale sign has been put up just outside their flat, but he nor his wife could read it. It means that they could potentially be kicked out of their home and they have no idea it's going to happen. Greenwich Council said they do all they can to work with and support their local Gurkhas. And after asking them about the couple's living conditions, we understand they are now looking to rehouse them. In 2013, a group of Gurkha campaigners staged a hunger strike outside the Ministry of Defence, claiming that many of the newly arrived veterans were now living on the poverty line, a result in part of a pension that remained a third of that paid to British soldiers. With the help of Drana Lumley, the protest ended and a government review of Gurkha grievances soon followed. But 3 years on, those same campaigners claim little has changed and have promised to return to their hunger strike once more.
They promised that Gurkhas will be made happy, given equal rights. Then I gave up. But up to now, 3 years now, almost. In 3 years, how many people suffered? How many people died?
Are you afraid? Are you fearful?
No, I'm a soldier. I was prepared to die for this country. If the Gurkhas do not get happy, I won't be happy throughout my life. So rather than going to the depression, mental anxiety, I'd rather die.
Whilst public sympathy has largely been widespread for the Gurkha veterans and their cause, in some areas of particularly high concentration of elderly Nepalese, such as in Aldershot, reaction has been mixed. Well, over the years there's been some backlash in army towns which have absorbed the Gurkhas and their families. Much of the hostility's been expressed online, with some of the comments saying that they should return to Nepal and even calling for the Gurkhas to be disbanded as they're no longer a cheap option.
It's had a massive impact on the constituency because all of a sudden Aldershot and Farnborough found that literally thousands of mostly elderly Nepalese, speaking no English, not understanding our customs, descended upon our town. And that obviously led to quite a lot of changes in the character of the town almost overnight. Go around Aldershot and Farnborough and you see groups of them just walking along apparently aimlessly. And I don't think it's fair upon them at all. And I don't think it's fair on my local community either.
Howarth believes that in 2009 there was a failure to consider the consequences of mass elderly migration to a select few places in the UK. But he's keen to highlight the difference between those elderly veterans and the so-called new generation who continue to serve or retired after 1997 and enjoy full pension and pay equality.
At the end of the day, this problem, I think, will largely disappear because there are these two camps. There are the elderly, and they are by definition elderly and they require medical services. But you've got on the other side, you've got these young, recently retired Gurkhas, fit, total command of English, fully understand our customs, and they will be the succession.
But whilst the passing of time might be seen as a solution to some, others believe that this makes the issues at hand even more urgent.
They were defending Britain, and I feel that they should not be left behind. They should be supported, whatever the life left for them. We have a moral responsibility to provide that assistance to those people so that they can have a comfortable future.
After numerous failed court hearings and years of political lobbying, Gyanraj Rai and his supporters believe that a return to direct action is the only option left to achieve their goals of an equal pension. But despite the support that Gyanraj garners, some of those that have campaigned alongside him in the past say that a hunger strike is unlikely to achieve results.
I always advise him, don't do it, because I see that it's not the British government way to respond to hunger strikes. I mean, I saw that in Northern Ireland, where you had the British government was even prepared to see hunger strikers die rather than give in to their demands.
In a statement, the Ministry of Defence told us that numerous court rulings, including most recently by the European Court of Human Rights, have supported their position on Gurkha pensions, adding that the government is proud that Gurkhas now serve on the same terms and conditions as their British counterparts. There was no acknowledgement, however, of those who retired before 1997 and who continue to receive much less. Whilst the political battle continues, the elderly populations in Greenwich, Aldershot and elsewhere in the country are acutely aware that for them there is limited time left.
अब म चाहिँ अब आफ्नो जिन्दगी बितिहाल्यो कहाँ डुल्यो कहाँ चाहिँ त्यो सम्झिरहँदाखेरि एकदम दुःख लाग्छ हेर्नु अहिले ठिकै छ।